President Donald Trump's campaign to return to the White House, he made a bold declaration: "I will end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours.
Take a look at the war happening right now in Ukraine. It would have never happened if I were president, to start off with."
It was a promise that resonated with his base, an assertion of his deal-making prowess, and his belief that, unlike his predecessors, he alone could strong-arm both Russia and Ukraine into peace. And international diplomacy does not bend to bravado. As Trump soon discovered, the war in Ukraine is not just about two nations locked in conflict. It is about a deeply entrenched global order, and his attempt to subvert it put him on a collision course with the very forces that have shaped American power for decades. The meeting, intended as a show of strength and deal-making mastery, to many, quickly turned into a strategic disaster. What were the things that could have gone wrong? A miscalculation of power. Trump reportedly assumed that personal negotiations with Vladimir Putin and Volodymyr Zelensky would be enough to force a ceasefire. However, both leaders, backed by powerful global stakeholders, were unwilling to concede without securing long-term strategic advantages. Defying the military-industrial complex, the conflict in Ukraine is not just about territorial disputes. It represents a lucrative and strategic front for Western defense contractors, NATO's influence, and the broader containment of Russian expansion. Trump's push for a quick resolution directly threatened the interests of defense lobbies and U.S. intelligence agencies. Alienating allies. European leaders, particularly those in NATO, viewed Trump's approach as reckless. His attempts to strong-arm Ukraine into peace were perceived as undermining Western unity, leading to tensions within the alliance and eroding trust in U.S. leadership. The intelligence leak. Shortly after the meeting, classified information about Trump's discussions with Putin surfaced in major media outlets. The leaks, reminiscent of past intelligence disclosures that plagued his first term, signaled that elements within the government were actively working to undermine his agenda. The fallout from this meeting was immediate. Critics accused Trump of naivety. Allies questioned his strategic judgment. For years, Trump and his supporters have pointed to the existence of a deep state who challenged its authority. Trump's return to the White House was seen by some as a direct threat to this establishment. His efforts to disrupt the Ukraine war were met with immediate resistance, much like his previous attempts to challenge the CIA and FBI intelligence operations, the State Department's foreign policy doctrine, the Pentagon's military strategies, and the influence of defense contractors in Washington. If history is any guide, leaders who defy the system too aggressively do not simply retire in peace. John F. Kennedy sought to dismantle the clandestine power structures. He was assassinated. Richard Nixon challenged the intelligence community. He was forced to resign. Now, Trump is once again attempting to dismantle the old order, and the backlash is intensifying. If his first term was defined by legal battles, impeachment, and media warfare, his second term is shaping up to be a direct confrontation with forces that have toppled leaders throughout history. Every classified discussion, every strategic decision will likely find its way into the press, shaping public perception against him. Global instability. With NATO wary of his leadership and U.S. adversaries testing his resolve, Donald Trump has always prided himself on being an outsider, a disruptor, a force that cannot be contained. But history is not kind to leaders who stand alone. No leader who threatens the system this much has ever finished the battle on their own terms. Ephraim Agbo, reporting for Puff TV.
People of the Fountain.